was always into stage and performing. When I was growing up in Bangalore, that's where I grew up, and I started doing theater from the college days itself. I was in Christ College. I did a lot of theater there, and I started doing professional theater with Alliance Francaise, with some of the play directors from Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. It was mostly the South sector where I was doing some English plays. While I was doing theater and studying, doing my graduation, parallelly, I was very interested in studying films. It was just that idea of, how so many people come together and they shoot a film was very, very fascinating for me. And I think since childhood, I used to just sit in front of television and just watch lots and lots of cinema. Amitabh Bachchan movies back to back, I'll watch anything, Amir Khan's, Shah Rukh Khan's, everything. So the film world itself was very fascinating, not just as an actor, but to be a maker also. How do so many people come together and make a film happen? So while I was doing theater and learning more of acting, doing workshop on the side, I was also studying films. And then I did my film studies from Bangalore. There's a school called SAE. It stands for School of Audio Engineering, but there is also a filmmaking course there. We have branch in Chennai, we have branch in across the world. So yeah, I just had to convince my family. I mean, it was a very difficult thing because I think to convince your family that you want to go study films is very, very, at least, back 15 years back was very, very strange because who studies films? Nobody goes and studies films. I mean, there were always FTI and there's always NSD to study. There's the major ones. SRFTI is there. But then that's where I continued my journey. I said, no, I want to. I had to convince them. I did small jobs and I made sure that I'm proving myself at some level. And I think my parents also got convinced when they saw my work, when they saw a little bit of short films here and there. Then they saw me professionally doing as an actor, stuff on stage. So that in all as a combination then made me move to Mumbai and said, let's go to the main film city and start pursuing this career. I think some things come to you organically when you're at least somewhere clear about this is how you want to approach. My approach has always been that towards my acting. I don't say I've done all kind of versatility. I think there's so much more I still have to do. But on stage, as I was saying, while doing theater, as an actor, there it opens you up so much. I've done a role of a 6-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy, and a 60-year-old man on stage. And you play Hanuman on stage, and you'll play, random characters on stage. It just opens you up to doing more variety with yourself. That's why even when I started doing film acting and shows and in front of camera, it was more about let's play interesting roles, let's play interesting characters. Even if he's the hero, even if he's the protagonist, even if he's the antagonist, I don't care. It has to be something very different or something very interesting and exciting for me also. When I go to the set, it should excite me. So whether it was, I mean, Bhavesh Joshi, of course, came through lots and lots of auditions. Before that, I was also giving many, many, many auditions. And sometimes you don't plan these things. They just come to you because you're working on that path, because you're just going ahead and trying and trying and trying. And then some things just fall in your place, like Bhavesh Joshi. And I was very, very lucky. I did 2, 3 rounds of that film. The auditions happened through Mukesh Chabra, our very senior casting director, and then Vikramaditya Motwane sir, of course, liked me there, and that film happened. And I think that film opened lots of doors to, then be recognized in the industry because it was a good role. It was critically acclaimed, and then slowly, yeah, I think every film, every show gives you something different, and the kind of love you get from the audience every time. Like Mirzapur is, I can say, the most popular one because when it came during it was actually the COVID year. It was 2020 when both the things you mentioned, Mirzapur and Extraction came out. Right, so it was 2020, early 2020 when Extraction came out, and then Mirzapur came out the next same year later, and both blew up very differently. The kind of fan following I've seen for Extraction internationally in Spain, in US, in Dubai, people recognizing me and meeting me because they have seen Extraction, Amir Asif, that role, which was very different from. Mirzapur, Robin. Again, a very, very popular role, and the way it was, I think when it came to me that time, you don't realize it, but you just jump into it. But I've started liking this. I've liking, just to answer your question, I think it's more of, yeah, the versatility really now charges me up to go to the set and do something interesting, you know. I'm actually excited when people don't recognize me at the airport. I'm actually I like it when people don't, they're like, yeah, is this the same guy? You know, they're confused because that means that with the character, when you're watching it, you forgot that it was me. You forgot that there was Priyanshu on screen and it was just Amir Asif or Robin or Bhavesh Joshi or any character. I like that. It's very, very, I think it's exciting for me. I think we, when I say we, is me and Vandana, my partner in life, my wife, and my partner in my company, our company, I would say, which there was first no company before this. We used to just keep making short films together. So as I said, I had studied filmmaking anyway, and there was that thing inside of me, writing and directing. I always liked this idea of, making films. So since Bangalore, I was making a music video, documentary, short films. We used to do lots and lots. With my friends, I used to do many of these things. You know, whenever we are free, we would just come together. Somebody has a camera, somebody has a laptop. Let's just make something happen. And that just used to keep my creative thing flowing. I always loved telling stories, whether it is on stage, on film, as an actor, as a filmmaker. When I came to Mumbai and me and Vandana, we met and many other friends, we combined together. We said, whenever we are not acting, let's just make our thing together. Let's just make in-house. And at that point of time, even phones did not have very good camera. I mean, we had these DSLR cameras, we had small other cameras, but we used to not care about the quality. I think it's about just making something happen, just making some short films. And we did lots, but I think I personally have been part of at least 50 to 100 short films myself, either behind the camera or, acting in it or something for others. I love that idea of short films, but since making short films, I knew I want to get into making a feature someday for sure. And as you said, as you asked, right, why right now? I think there was a story in my mind which was brewing for a really, really long. It is a very, very close story to me, and it belongs to my hometown. That was also a short film. It was a short film initially because a lot of my then friends heard it and they said, वो होता है ना कि you always say कि life में every time I've been making short films, so I was only thinking small. They said, no, this story demands long. This story is a feature length film. This story needs a fuller length and a better lens, to look at it. So then I started writing it again to make that short film into a feature. And we just jumped into it because I think there's no right or wrong time. There is just time which you feel like this is the time I want to jump into making my own things. And I and many people I get inspired from are now looking at films also from the perspective of that it has to be global. Let's tell local stories. Let's tell very interesting, beautiful stories, apart from Bollywood films, apart from, the commercial film cinemas. But I think we have lots and lots of stories in India which now regional cinema does it very, very well. I would say, there was Kantara in Kannada, Malayalam cinema has been proving it back to back. There's Gujarati films, there are Assamese films we watch. Why can't there be Hindi films or English films or some other film, which is a very good pure story from local ground ethnic stories, but at a global level? But they should be, recognized everywhere. I think that was some thought which came in our head, and we said, let's just jump into it ourselves. Let's just start this process. And it's been exciting. It's just been, yeah, we've just gone into it now. Let's see. No, then yeah, it is difficult because I think there is more stress. It is when you're an actor, I think it's the easiest thing on set. Being an actor is a privilege to be on set because you're coming, you come to your vanity, you have people to take care of you. Uh, there is a place which where you get ready. Of course, there is a lot of work mentally. Um, but as when you're behind the camera, there's work mentally and physically double than just being an actor. I think there is so much more because you're also calling the shots. You're the captain of the ship. Everybody's looking at you. Like, oh, when we were shooting for Jagar, that's the name of my film, and we were shooting in high in the mountains. We were closer to the Himalayan mountains. We had four seasons on the same day. There was rainfall, there was hailstorm, there's snow and sunlight on the same day. And every 2 hours, the climate was changing because we are really high up in the mountains. So if there is a problem, everybody will look at you. The whole lighting department, camera department, what are we going to do? What are we? So you have to be very, very, what do you say, sharp and very present. You have to make calls. You have to be handling so many people, and plan that how your film is going to be made. As an actor, that much of there's not so much on your shoulders, right? As an actor, you come with your part, you come in with your best, what you can do with that role, and make sure everybody's happy with you on the set. But yeah, as a filmmaker right now, I'm feeling with the feature, it is too much. It's been 2 years now in the making, and now we've finished the film, but it's still an ongoing process, right? The pre-production, production, and now the third stage of taking the film out, getting it out, now bringing it to the audience. So I think until it comes out to the audience, the nervousness, the tension, the excitement, and there's so much happening in you. I think what really surprised me, and I was really, really grateful, was that when me and Vandana, when we came together and we decided to make this film happen, we had no idea how we're going to go about it. It was just, they say, no, just jump into the sea and then you learn how to swim. It was literally that. We just jumped into it. We said we have a good script in hand. We believed in the script. And our friends who are from the industry, who I've worked with as an actor here and there, Vandana's friends, who she has worked with as an actor, they just came together and they trusted us. I think filmmaking is a process where everybody has to trust each other, and you need to have good relationship with each other. And this is where I saw love and respect for both of us, me and Vandana, that so many people came in support. And because we were going independent, we did not have budget, and we were just raising the money from left, right, center, asking people, and we had put in our money. And we had DOP, my friend Hemant and Meet and everybody who's done Amazon shows and who's done, international work. They all came together not for money. They came for the love of just making this film together. Nobody came and asked how much money are we getting. That I think we were lucky. But I think that's how we can start a film happen, and maybe that's how everybody started to make films. Whenever I've read about Christopher Nolan, or whenever I've spoken to Anurag Kashyap sir, or the best of the filmmakers I'm saying across the world, had to start a film somewhere, and had to start in some manner of getting their friends together who trust them. So I think we were lucky. Then slowly after getting into producing, I realized that we don't need so many people on set. Sometimes we are spending money on wrong things rather than putting that same money into making the film better. I think tomorrow when I start earning money, and or people put in money to our company to make films, I will be very smart enough, and I think both of us have that idea, me and Vandana, that let's put money in the right way. We don't need sometimes 200 people on set. Why do we need those? That's been a discussion now recently everywhere for Bollywood, that why do we need six vanities? Why do you need so much? Take the what is required. Definitely, we need a vanity sometimes. Take it what is required. Definitely, if you need that much lights, I think if you planned well, if there is a pre-production which is very, very well planned, you can save a lot of money and make a film in good budget and with less people, which is what we did. We shot this feature. It's a feature length. Our film is 70 minutes, but we shot it on in 17 days, 1/7. First schedule was 11 days, the next schedule was for 5 days, and the film was done. And a lot of people think that, and when people saw our visuals, they were all like, how many days did you guys shoot in that? And we said 17 days. And they're like, really? In those mountains? I said, yeah, because we were planned, and there was a team of 50 of us who was very, very strong, tight, and understood how to make this film happen. I think what I've learned is I think we can really make good cinema. It's not about money. Good money doesn't mean good film. Good story means good film. Good people involved means good film. Money doesn't make the film better. Money is required, Money is needed to make a film, but not that it'll become a good film. I mean, we have seen so many examples of big budget cinema coming and just failing and people not even liking it. That's because the intention is not to make a good film. And tomorrow, I think in the future, just answering your last question, the future is my idea is to collaborate with as many creative people across the world, the young people. Already we are talking to, Vandana gets so many mails, I get so many mails from writers and directors with so many new ideas, but there are lesser people who are putting them together. I mean, there are lesser producers who are taking a risk or banking on these newer ideas. We all want to go according to, oh, that worked, that concept worked, that horror comedy worked. Let's make another horror comedy. Let's make five more horror comedy. Everybody will go follow that one path. Why not try something new? Why not do something new? So I think that is what our aim is. We want to try and experiment. We want to do new things, collaborate with more people, also get into co-production with internationally if we can, I think multiple people should come together to make films. I think that learning comes as an actor. For me, I think I've learned a lot on being on these wonderful sets also, which has now helped me come to this place of how I should make my film and write my film and how we should be producing from our company. It has also come from learning from being on a set in Extraction. It has come from learning to being on a set with Vishal Bharadwaj, Motwane, all the wonderful filmmakers I've worked with. But specifically Extraction, when you ask me, you see the kind of prep what they do very, very well. They would prep one sequence, an action sequence for 2 months, and everybody on set is so clear and so sharp. Like everybody knows exactly what they have to do on the day of the shoot. It was the most comfortable set for me to work with, even though there were so many people. We don't realize there's so many. Everybody's working peacefully, calmly. I think the pre-production what Hollywood does is wonderful. They're tremendous with what they did, and we were so comfortable on the day of the shoot that that's why a good film is made because pre-production they've spent the money, they've spent the time planning it well, putting in the shots, executing it well. Then during the shoot day, everything becomes easy for the actors and everybody around, I think. The executing part of it becomes easier. That I think it was a great learning for me. I think after Extraction, when I came to Mumbai, and in a lot of interviews, I was asked that now that you've done Bollywood film and Hollywood film, and both sides you've done big budget films. What is the difference? What do you feel? I said it's not like we don't have money. We are also making big budget films in India. It's just that we need to put it in the right place. You should know where to put your money in the place. Yeah, I just saw that happening. Then I did a British series also. I just did one episode long back. It was called Good Karma Hospital. It came for one of the channels here in UK. Again, the same thing. I mean, they're very well planned, and the money is put in the right place. I think that is one of my learning, which I will gonna keep to me. That tomorrow, even if somebody gives me, I hope, I wish, finger crossed that we get lots of funding, and for the next film, we're getting a good amount of funding. But we're not going to use that funding to package that film. Let's make that film well. I think people will see it on screen. It is definitely they when the streaming platforms came, Netflix, Amazon, all the big players, Z and Sony, everybody. They apart from the cinema hall, the theaters, we got these opportunities to make films for the OTT, right? Which we have been making, and the shows have been coming out there. But I don't think that should be our only goal, or only with streaming partners, we should be only dependent on them. I think the great part is that at least we can make films and give it to them. The big budget films can go there, but we'll all have to, as you rightly said, it has to be a very collaborative way. They all have to be open to big films, medium films, small films. Today, I see a certain sense of there is only sense of that only this kind of films will release, and there are a lot of films which are getting suffered because they're suffering because they're small films. They might be very good films, but nobody's looking at it because they're smaller films, because there's no big star in it. I feel whether it is a streaming platform, whether it is a big screen theater, we should give opportunity for to release the film out there, whether it is a big star or not, or whether it is a big film or not. Which I know in South that happens. South of India does they do release. There was a I forgot there was a recent Malayalam film with four debutant boys. They were acting for the first time, and that film has is close to I think it was about it's a school film. It's about four friends, right? And it's close to
It's Vara 2.
correct.
Vara
It
2.
Varto. It's made close to 100 CR if I'm not wrong. I think it's
No, 250.
250 CR. Imagine. Now they're all new guys, right? They're all four
Yes.
of them debut film actors. I'm saying that should be the idea across, whether it is cinema halls, whether it is streaming platforms. But what I'm very grateful with streaming platforms is that today, at least we have an opportunity to make a film like what I've done. It's a very non-commercial, I would say. It's a film. It will move you. There's sound, there's music, there's good visuals, everything. There's drama, but it doesn't have a song. There's no item song. There's no big star. So it's not commercial, but I have an opportunity to put this out there for people to watch it on Netflix, and I would like to see it there on Amazon Prime or anywhere in one of the platforms, not just in India, but globally. What happened was today, when my film is there on Netflix, whichever I've done as an actor, I've done Upstarts, Extraction, everything, or in Prime, there are people I meet abroad who have seen those films. Earlier, when streaming platforms were not there, my films were only on the big screen in India. People are only watching it here. Now I can be global, right? Everybody can watch, a Netflix film across or a Prime film. That is a big advantage. I mean, that I think is a very, very good advantage. And for all of us also who are now trying to make stories which are more global, if we can put it out there in these streaming platforms, people will love to watch it across the world. Because I think stories in any language, if they're good, if it is in Malayalam, if it is in Korean, if it is in Spanish, if it is in Chinese, if it is, I've seen, we all watch nowadays. If they're good films, today somebody will suggest you, have you seen that Spanish film? It is very good. You will go and watch it, and it will still touch your heart, right? There's language has no barrier today with cinema. I think thanks to all these OTT platforms, and we have gotten used to reading subtitles, so I think that is good. I think film conclaves are places which are very, very important for us as film people from the fraternity and from people who are connected to the business of films. When I saw this film conclave, I said I really want to be there, and there should be more and more. I'm very thankful that our film is also, right now selected here, and this is happening on 26th now. At the film conclave, you try to meet so many like-minded people. There are people who are distributors, who are exhibitions, because we all come from our side of what we are good at, what our expertise are, right? Me and Vandana, and we have made a film. We have a company, small company, that we are first time bringing up. I mean, we've been in the industry from 10 years. We are actors and people know us. But now this is a very, very different ball game. This is for us as producers, as makers, with our first feature film, with our first production. But that is our expertise. Our expertise is we are creatively, we know how to tell story or we know how to produce the film. But we need more experts to come, support us, and take us to the next level. At the Film Conclave, which is what is now on 26th, I'm hoping, and that is what I think me and we've been speaking to Amandeep. She's been very, very sweet. The first time I spoke to Aman, I think what her aim is with films, what her aim is and goals are to where this films have to go, how globally we can all connect. See, it's all everybody has their superpowers. I would say we all are. I have some powers. Somebody will have some power, and it's like Avengers. May everybody comes together to to make something happen. It is that. Let's come together globally. I would say I would like to meet somebody from UK who's been here, who wants to tell stories back in India, or let's make films come together 50-50. Like I come from my expertise, my power, which I am from there, and you bring in your power. Let's make film happen. I think we are very excited to be part of it. We want to meet new people who are from UK and otherwise, and collaborate with them for future. Of course, talk about our film also and show our film to people, at least our trailer, and try to have a release in India, sorry, in London before we do it in India. So if we can somehow push our film here, nothing like it. But I think majorly, I think the idea is to be at the conclave and to get local films here globally, to find people who can help us do that. Yeah, yeah, yes, absolutely. So what we're doing is we, apart from our film, which is anyway ready, this is one film which we want to now bring it here, distribute, try to get, bring it to the exhibition out here. Uh, but apart from that, what we are doing is we're also bringing what we're developing on, we have created film decks, and there are stories which Vandana have written and I have written and some of our friends back home have written. We have some very interesting plots and stories which are actually India and UK based. They're like stories from which combine Indian traditions and the modernity of UK and very local. Like and I would say we can shoot half of them in India, half of them in UK. So I think these kind of collaborative stories we've already have in our kitty. We've already have made pitch decks, or you can say like we've kind of created these concepts and we are ready with it. We're hoping to meet people at the conclave who like that and take it forward because we need support from this side also. But this is a great initiative because I think co-production between London and India, it's always been there. I think we've always seen movies come here and being shot. Matlab, all the big films have been here. Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum to a lot of big films here. YRF used to be shot here. But for independent cinema, I think this is a great leap where all of us can come together. And as I said, we can bring in our expertise and we have stories here. Let's see. I hope people pick it up from us also because we've got some very good stories which people will like here. Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's the same line though because I want to tell films. I want to tell stories. The actor in me is always there. He's also, one side of me which is very. He's been now. I just completed 10 years in Bollywood this year. In fact, 2016, my first film had come out, Rock On 2, and 2026 now I have two more releases coming as an actor this year. One film and one big show is coming out. So that actor will keep on doing his work. There is that side of him that I want to do more and more work with the best of the filmmakers. I want to work globally. I want to, as internationally also. In fact, I have an agent who we have been talking to, and we are trying to get some, more international films as an actor. Because now globally also they need a lot of Indian actors, Asian actors, a lot of collaborations are happening where you see Adarsh Gaurav, you see Ali Fazil, a lot of Indian actors, younger actors who have worked here. I'm also trying to explore that as well, to do more of maybe British cinema, British shows. Maybe if they need an Indian guy in Bridgerton tomorrow in a UK British show, you never know. So I want to explore that side as well as an actor and as a filmmaker, as I said, as a producer, as a company, we really aim to collaborate with more and more people and just do so many more stories which we have but make really, really local stories. Our tagline is that let's tell the more local you are, the more global you are. I think there are so many inside stories in India which people don't know, and locations and places which we can really explore. So we want to really show that out there in the world. I call myself a North Indian from South India because I'm a North Indian who originally from Uttarakhand, Dehradun, which is the northmost part of India. But I grew up in Bangalore and I was studying filmmaking here, but I used to keep visiting my hometown, my village, during holidays. And I used to watch this puja, which is called Jagar. Jagar is basically a puja which is conducted there to call upon Devi Devta, like the local deities. You call the local deities, that they get possessed. Like how it little bit Kantara was shown, but I think every state has it. I think in Kerala also there's something which they say when they wear the masks and the spirit comes inside them, the local gods. So we have something called Jagar, which where the local gods are called upon. I wanted to keep that base because for me that is always a very fascinating thing. I've seen it since childhood. I never believed it, and then when I started believing in it, I don't know. I do not. I initially questioned it. I have taken my camera as a young boy who used to capture it as a film documentary. But in my film now, this time I to tell a story from a very different point of view. It's a fiction film. So the fiction film belongs to this girl who's gone there with her team to make a documentary on Jagar. But it is the story of the girl who goes there to shoot it, and it is about her awakening because she's stuck in her life somewhere. She's stuck in her life because she has to go back and get married to this guy, and she knows there's something wrong with in the relationship, but she doesn't know what it is. So what happens to her when she is in this path in this mountains for those couple of days shooting this film, Jagar, and how the puja, the Jagar, the place, and the local people affect her to find herself. For me, it is very, in one line, it is the nature makes her find her true nature. I think that's the idea. I believe in mountains, every river, every tree, every stone has energies. When you sit there, nature has energy, right? It makes you sometimes reflect back on who you are. So it's a coming of age of a woman who is there to shoot a film, and what happens to her. It is about her awakening.